Decibel Stadium, where tonight, before a capacity crowd of 75,000 screaming featherheads, the fighting Braves of the Cuyahoga will leave their teepees in search of Cleveland's first league championship in over 30 years. Standing in the way, their longtime nemesis, the New York Yankees, trying to put the stop on the Yanks will be Eddie Harris, the Tribe's veteran right-hander. Bobby, anything to add? He's not the best color man in the league for nothing, folks. All right, we're set to go.
Hey, it's Matty and Patty, coast to coast. From Brooklyn, this is world champion Pat McMenamin. In San Francisco, I am joined by fellow world champion Matt Youngner. Say hello, Matty. Say hello,
hey,
champion.
Patty. Champion.
Champion. How are you, champion?
I'm feeling wonderful. Such a winner.
Welcome to the Cleveland Sports Hour. We are two self-aware but unapologetic homers who spend far too much time watching, reading, and thinking about the 2016 NBA World Champion Cleveland Cavaliers.
Whew.
That's right. Thank you, Patty. It's great to be here. I'd also like our audience to know that I'm wearing an Ultimate Warrior t-shirt right now.
I will introduce you to Tom Tom. Remain silent.
Honestly, Warrior.
Do the intro. Matty, get a hold of your friend.
You're stepping all over Pat's intro, buddy.
God damn it, Stiggy. You will get your introduction.
Wrong. Wrong.
Thinking about the 2016 NBA World Champion Cleveland Cavaliers, as well as the American League Central Division champion Cleveland Indians, who are back in the playoffs on Thursday night.
9 long years.
That's right. And also that football team we still have. So if you'd like the informed, intelligent Cleveland fans' perspective on all things, you have come to the right place. Tonight, however, is all about the Tribe. Later this month, we're going to preview the Cavs' upcoming defense of their historic all-time championship, never equaled before in basketball or any other sport. But tonight, it's all about the Tribe. About goddamn time. This podcast has devoted episodes to the Tribe before, but our absence over the summer, while due primarily to life, jobs, laziness, and the heaping pile of satisfaction, is still inexcusable. It's frankly a little shocking how the urgent need to talk for hours on end about Cleveland sports seems less urgent when you just won the greatest championship in the history of the world. But honestly, we are part of a grave disservice to what might be the most fun and lovable Indians team ever. They deserve better, and we mean to do right by them tonight and going forward. Now, perhaps if there's time, we'll give you guys a sneak peek of our Cavs season preview towards the end, and it's going to be a good one when we do it, chock full of special guests. Speaking of which, we are joined by another shitty
Daddy, it's great to be here.
Guest who does not know when to wait for his turn to be introduced. He's also on the left coast tonight, fellow world champion Jeffrey Versteeg, the pile sticking thins himself. Welcome, Jeff Versteeg.
Thank you, Patty. It's great to be here. You know, after watching the debate the other night, I just feel like I should probably just barge in whenever I want. I mean, that's what our leaders do. They're our role models. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't wait for some moderator to tell you it's your turn to talk. So,
he's not a leader yet. He's no one's leader yet. He's just the nominee, right?
You know, I'm wearing the Ultimate Warrior t-shirt. That guy never waited any turn to talk. He just ranted in people's faces. He was the man. So, prepare.
He's dead.
I'm wearing the comeback jersey.
Too. You lived life like that. I mean, that guy lived his life a quarter mile at a time. Fucking badass.
All right, well, Stiggy, this may be your only airtime of the night without hostile interruptions from me. I warn you, this podcast has room for only one windbag, and that job is taken, God damn
it. We're Americans. But I won't interrupt much about the Tribe because I don't know much about the Tribe. So you can go ahead and just display your ignorance while I stare at you like Hillary staring at Trump.
You sit back there and sip that Woodford Reserve. I'll drink my all-day IPA. Let's get into this with the Tribe. Let's start at the beginning. Lack of respect for the Tribe. I mean, I think we have given them more respect than most Cleveland fans, but I think we are a microcosm of the problem that the Tribe has in the Cleveland sports pantheon. I
think they might get more respect nationally than they do locally.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I'm serious.
I agree with you.
If Carrasco and Salazar hadn't gotten hurt, the Tribe would be a very popular World Series pick, even over the Red Sox, who are very, very good. They were an excellent team. I mean, the wheels really fell off the wagon at the end of the year in terms of injuries.
Crazy injuries.
It was a very good team, almost from the get-go. There was a couple touch-and-go moments in August with the Tigers and even the Royals back then nipping at their heels, but they put that to bed, man. They're right there with a game back of the Rangers by the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's a really good squad, and 28th, I believe, in the major leagues in attendance by the end of the year.
Jesus.
Just pathetic for a team that won 94 games in their division easily.
Patty, what was the attendance the day we were there? I mean, it was a nice day. It was a Saturday.
I don't remember. I mean, it was better. It was like high 20s. Which is good. I think capacity's now. I mean, capacity originally when that ballpark opened was like 43,000, I think, right?
42, I believe.
Yeah.
42 and change.
And interestingly, you remember if you were paying attention to that opening intro, which I think you guys could hear, he referred to a capacity crowd of 72,000, the old municipal stadium. I mean, holy shit! You remember a baseball game with 72,000 fans?
Yeah,
I remember that place being so empty. It was fun.
When there were like 5,000 people in the stands and a foul ball would go way out and there'd be like 4 little kids that had to run a quarter mile to go get it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You could walk anywhere. It was great. You just bought standing room only seats and just walk wherever you want, sit wherever you want.
Right. Walk all the way down to the first base line. There were no ushers to stop you. It was amazing.
It was crazy. It was awesome. Frankly. Did you guys get to go to any of the final games of the season in '93?
No.
I don't think I went at the end. I don't think I did.
My dad got tickets to the second to last game at Municipal Stadium in the final series of the year at Municipal Stadium against the White Sox, which is significant because they actually filmed scenes of that entire series for Major League Two.
Oh, yeah.
Against the White Sox and Jack Parkman. They used the actual, the natural crowds that would be coming for the final, games in Municipal Stadium for those shots. And that was crazy, being in a place. I mean, I've been in Municipal Stadium. You guys have been in Municipal Stadium before for Browns games, right? But seeing it for a baseball game is sort of different. Especially
I wasn't there for that, but we used to go on opening day for a little bit, and that would usually sell out or come very close to selling out, even when they were terrible.
Yeah.
That's an experience. Weird. You're right. It's weird watching a baseball game with that many people.
Yeah.
Now, that was the trend.
What's the biggest ballpark for baseball now? Do any of you guys know?
The Oakland Coliseum, which is still the only mixed-use baseball stadium in the league right now.
That's right, and it's similar size.
Now, they block off the entire upper deck. Like there's a tarp over all the seats in the upper deck. So I guess maybe officially that's not part of the capacity. I don't remember if they open them up in the playoffs or not.
Well, that'll be
full capacity. That's in the 70,000 range if it gets what the Raiders get. But nobody goes to those games.
I went to one 3 years ago there. It was. I mean, it's so much concrete. It felt like a maximum security prison.
Yeah.
It was really empty. It was sad. And then the next day I went to one at Pac Bell, which was like the newest, nicest. Huge difference.
Yeah.
Same prices for beer, though.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
I was going to say, Sticky, you and I went to a game together recently. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But
we did.
We noticed the upper deck in right field is covered up with these huge, square columns, recognizing greats and players and all that stuff. But
those seats are gone.
Well, are they for sure gone?
They're gone. That was part of the redesign of the. I'm 90% sure on this. That was part of the redesign of the stadium. Was taking away those seats and the team admitting that it cannot sell out at 40, whatever, 42, 43, 44,000, like it was doing back in the heyday. And that it has to adjust its expectations and improve the game experience for those lower number of fans that they think they can actually get to come to the game. Those seats are gone. They're not coming back.
What I'm wondering about is that the way the construction is on it looks so potentially temporary, because I would assume that for the playoffs, they could sell those seats.
No.
They might lift them.
I mean, we'll find out tomorrow.
What?
We'll find out tomorrow who's right about it, but I'm pretty sure that's not. I think those are permanent structures, and those seats are gone.
That seems crazy to me, because they would be able to sell them. Like, it would make sense to have like a semi-permanent structure that, with a little bit of work, you could just remove for.
I mean, neither of us are structural engineers, Pat, but I don't think that's how it works. And nobody goes to the freaking games, which is part of what we're talking about here. Is the problem? They were 28th in the league in attendance. That's terrible.
Like, here's what I mean. I agree.
Fourth best team in the league.
I would be really depressed if I saw those seats empty in the playoffs. But I just can't believe that Cleveland wouldn't fill those seats in the playoffs. That they wouldn't get enough to be able to fill it out. Even in 2007, we had this problem back in 2007 when the Indians last were in the playoffs, right?
I mean, maybe they could build some temporary bleachers out in center field and have people sit out there and sell those tickets.
I'm just saying, like, in 2007, we still sold out in the playoffs, at least. And the whole season, we had trouble actually filling the seats, just like this year.
I mean, they sold out the wild card game in 2013, too. I don't disagree with you. I'm just telling you I'm just giving you facts, Pat.
You might be right. I don't actually have any research on this, and I don't care.
You care.
Well, I guess I care a little bit, because those seats were the seats I sat in when I saw Albert Bell hit that grand slam in '96. That just drove me crazy. Like just knowing those gone is a rough thing to come to grips with, you know?
Well, hey, come to grips with it, buddy.
Hey, let's think about the good things, Matty. let's go to the playoffs on good thoughts. What
how good this tribe team is? Patty, you said in the intro you think this is the most fun tribe team ever?
I think it's arguable, for sure.
More fun than the 95 team.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I think it's arguable. I'm not making a case that it is. I'm saying
let's argue it.
They have a case. So let me make
argue the case.
a qualified case. I haven't thought about this enough to know where I land on this. I mean, the 95 tribe just bashed the ball. But, you know, and they had great personalities, but like the personalities in this team, part of this is a construct of our time age, where we get to actually know the players a little more deeply, or at least interact with them more through Twitter and all that. Yes. But between Jason Kipnis, who, by the way, not just is he the kind of guy who calls out a sports writer on Twitter, Paul Hoynes, who after the game, Stiggy, you and I saw when Carlos Carrasco got hurt, declared that, mark this down, this is the day that the Indians' postseason dreams died. Kipnis went on Twitter to say, all right, buddy, well, don't bother coming to the games anymore. You already know I was going to turn out to stay home. Like, he, you know, loved that about
Trevor Bauer said something much meaner, I think.
Trevor Bauer is completely out of control on Twitter. And just like, I mean, he's a fucking wild thing. That dude is fucking deliverance.
Yeah. He's a crazy dude.
On top of that, Kipnis was actually at Game 6 of the fucking NBA Finals talking smack to, what's his name? Draymond
Green, Thompson.
No, and talking shit to him on his way out of the arena, getting tossed, talking shit in his face because he's rich and he sees. Like, he's the Joe
Who else was at that Game 6?
What's that?
You know who else was at that Game 6? Me.
Grant Keating,
awesome. Right? Yeah. Saw little Steph throw his mouth guard get thrown out. Oh, my God. What a bit.
He's a role model. Dummies out here.
So humble. So humble.
So humble.
Such an everyman.
Conducts himself with respect.
Doesn't sneer or flaunt himself.
I heard he's endorsing Trump.
He would. He grew up rich. Why not? He's a member of the 1%. Sure, he loves Donald Trump.
So I've covered Trevor Bauer. I've covered Jason Kittens. There's Frankie Lindor.
Yeah, Lindor's awesome.
It's a joy to watch. He is. I mean, I don't want to look. I mean, no one was better at handling the ball than Vizquel, but Lindor has an arm that Vizquel didn't have. And I think but also Lindor could hit like Vizquel couldn't hit. I mean, and Lindor just has this infectious energy. The emoji on this podcast, Matty, when we're done, is going to be a picture of Frankie Lindor giving the double middle finger to
the Kansas City fan?
The Royals, yeah, with a huge shit-eating grin on his face. Like, I fucking love that dude.
He's a lot of fun.
He's awesome.
Party at Napoli's is a lot of fun.
Party at Napoli's. Mike Napoli just swings like for the fence every fucking time, and just a. That's
like
awesome.
Joaquin Phoenix's character in Signs.
Yes, swing away.
Yeah,
Matt,
it's like a waste not to swing as hard as I can.
Swing as hard as I can every time. Oh God, Signs.
My favorite, Carlos Santana.
Carlos Santana, Sabermetrics darling. But also just like he's your favorite player, Matty, on this team.
Oh, I love Los.
Love Los so much. I love the fact that we have a fat former catcher as our leadoff fucking hitter.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Like that is stat driven. I love that about this team. And we still been driving
in a way that no other team is doing it, especially now without Carrasco and Salazar.
Yeah.
Patty, we haven't even talked about your favorite player.
I said my favorite player. We'll get to that in a minute. So my favorite player, I declared it, and Matty, you were there to witness it. Mid-August, I was watching a game mid-August with my family on vacation. It was against the Blue Jays. This game was otherwise known as the Nick Inside the Park walk-off game. We were down 1 run in the bottom of the ninth against Osuna, right? Like, it was kind of arguably the best closer in the game. But, supposed to say that.
Not even close to arguably.
I heard that. I don't know.
The best closer in the game was not utilized by Buck Showalter last night in the Orioles-Blue Jays game.
Right. I saw those.
I think he set the record for the lowest ERA in history this year, Patty.
But Osuna's pretty fucking good, right?
Osuna is all right. He's a good closer.
Yeah.
He's not great.
I thought Osuna was supposed to be like, a very top tier anyway. Well, long story short, very good closer, right?
He's all right closer.
1 run. And, we're kind of hopeless. We haven't been scoring the whole game. And Jose Ramirez, this guy came out of fucking nowhere. Just moonshots, like off his shoe tops. The solo shot, tie the game, set the table for Naquin's Inside the Park home run. And even with all the excitement of Naquin's, pose after he slid to the home plate, and threw the 2-finger salute in the air like it's the end of a 1980s sports movie.
Yeah, that was a good freeze frame moment.
Yeah! Fuck that. I was like, Jose Ramirez is my favorite fucking player of all time. Just not all time, but he's my favorite fucking Indians right now. He's my favorite fucking Indian. I need his fucking jersey. This is the first Indians jersey I bought. That night I went online and bought it, even though I had just had bought less than a month ago about 20 Cavs shirts. I bought myself my first Indians jersey, and it's a Jose Ramirez jersey. Love that fucking guy. Out of nowhere, great defender, just plays anywhere else, all over the field, and he's legit. You watch him swing, he can get any ball. He has complete plate coverage and great quick hands. I'm so excited about him.
He's a lot of fun, and encouraging how he emerged too, right? He came up and was he was the starting shortstop last year when they were giving Lindor a little more time to adjust in the minors, and played horribly, was terrible on defense. The switch of him out of shortstop and Lindor in was one of the things that propelled us from the worst defensive team in the league to one of the best.
Yep.
Some other things happened there too, but that was one of them. Getting Chisenhall and Ramirez off of the left side of our infield. But wow, I mean, he came to spring training and the idea was he can make the team. He'll probably be a utility infielder. Then Almonte gets suspended. at the beginning of the year. Brantley gets hurt. There's an opening in our outfield, and he just took advantage of it. I mean, he's slightly less power than I would have anticipated, at least home run power, because he's, third in the league in doubles, but slightly less home run power than Brantley would have, but otherwise duplicated his numbers pretty closely, and especially the Mr. Clutch designation that Brantley had with us before.
Yeah,
did a very good.
He's been incredibly clutch. I mean, like the numbers that he has with runners in scoring position, period, but also runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah,
they're incredible. And the thing is, like, what I love about him is that he's not the prototypical third baseman, right? He doesn't hit a lot of home runs. He hits doubles, but like, but fuck that. He is a super plus defender at third base, right? The minus defender at shortstop.
He's a good defender. He's above average at third base, for sure.
Above average third base. I mean, every time I watch him, he's making great plays. Second base is his natural position. Like this couldn't be more perfect, having him there and being able to put Lonnie in the rotation in the outfield, which is a huge end to the Indians having. I mean, I don't know the baseball well enough to know. Matt, does any other team of us right now have the quality mix and match lefty righty matchups that we have in the outfield in terms of left and right bats?
No. And our outfield ended up being like the third most productive in the American League, I think. Second or third most productive.
Wow.
As a
That's
unit.
Awesome. I didn't know
that gives Tito the ability to do one of the things he does best, which is manage a lineup, game in, game out.
Yeah, I think he's really done that well. I mean, for God's sakes, every time I see Brandon Guyer up, he's either getting hit by a pitch or he's hitting a clutch hit.
Yeah.
Guyer's great.
Either way.
That was a nice consolation prize for not getting LaCroix.
Mm.
You mean the Rangers catcher?
That is who I mean, yes. Is that you want by his name, Patty?
No, that's what the tribe announcers refer to him as. Did you know that?
Who? Tom Hamilton does?
No, I think it's the TV announcers. The Sports Channel Ohio announcers. They don't actually name him by name. I read that somewhere. And honestly, I've not actually heard them say his name.
Really? It's like a Washington football team situation?
A little bit. I've heard that said, and I can't. The problem, I have MLB.TV, and it gives you the option to listen to the radio audio overlay, which I do. So I have been listening to Matt Underwood and what's his name, color guy?
Rick Mahoney's still on it?
Yep, Rick.
God.
I don't know that I've ever heard him say his name, but they don't refer to him by name.
Manning slept with Dennis Eckersley's wife when they were teammates.
Oh, really?
I think that's right. He slept with someone's wife.
Oh, man.
So more fun than the 95 team, you think, Patty?
Well, hold on. I just laid out what was really fun about this team, and I haven't gotten to Andrew Miller. Cody Allen's not much fun. He's just a great pitcher. One of the fun things that Stig and I enjoyed at the game we watched was they did a whole video presentation for Cody Allen, and we just kept looking at it going that's just not an intimidating person.
It runs for probably 90 seconds long, his intro film, and it's black and white, and it's slow motion, so he's all steely-eyed. It's like a Western. And we looked at him, and I think you said it best, Patty. You're like, this guy's just like an average suburban white dude. There's nothing hard about him at all. This is not intimidating.
He's a dude you would underestimate in almost any situation.
Yeah.
They tried their best. It was great. It was well shot. It was well produced. And they had nothing to work with. It was just Cody Allen.
Yeah. They tried to make you or me look tough. It'd be the same result.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy is soft.
But no, Andrew Miller is kind of fun. I mean, it's just crazy, but he doesn't look as crazy right now. But I love the fact that the minute he got traded from the Yankees, he stopped fucking shaving. He hasn't shaved a day since he got traded from the Yankees. That beard's been growing ever since. I love that. I love
you got to grow that beard.
Chaos. Sorry, what's that?
Once you know you're going to the playoffs, you got to grow that beard.
That's right. You started early. But then you got Klubat, Salazar, Cookie. You've got our slow pitch dude, Mike Tomlin. Matty, I'm give me the case for 95. The case may seem obvious, but just compare it player by player. Most likable team, most exciting, not exciting team, but like most likable team that like is the most fun on a player by player basis.
Okay. So where do I begin? So Sandy Alomar was probably the second least exciting player in our everyday lineup. He's more exciting than all the catchers that we have now, including Gomes. And Gomes was hurt, not really playing this year. So they get catcher. Our first baseman was Paul Sorrento, who was our most boring player in our everyday lineup. Napoli, I would get, was more fun, but it's not like leaps and bounds.
Really? Come on. No, don't pull that shit. Napoli and also Santana also plays first base.
I'm getting to Santana, buddy. You let me make my case, all right?
You're really going to say
Hall of Famer Eddie
Napoli are a draw? Seriously?
I didn't say a draw. I said Napoli's more fun, but it's not leaps and bounds. Paul Sorrento hit, 27 homers or something in 95?
Okay. You give first base to today's Tribe.
He's what?
You give first base to 2016 Tribe.
Sure.
Okay.
Second base, Carlos Baerga was so fucking good in 1995. Yeah. You're really sleeping on him.
Oh,
hit 200 hits, close to 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. I think he scored 100 runs. Baerga was so phenomenal 93, 94, 95. He's better than Kipnis.
Yeah.
Oh, better.
Fun play.
Fun to watch on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Better, but did he go to Cavs finals games and trash talk other team players?
Well, the Cavs weren't in the finals and there wasn't Twitter, so that's difficult to do. But he was a tremendous amount of fun out on the field.
I'm just saying I think this compares not on a production level, but on a fun level. This is what I'm pointing forward here. Likable and fun.
I think Baerga did a lot of coke. That was probably pretty fun.
that is fun for him.
Probably a good time. Omar and Lindor, I think you got to give a wash to.
Yeah, fair enough.
For fun. Jim Thome versus Jose Ramirez at third.
My new favorite player. Come on.
This is Jim Thome, buddy.
I know it's Jim Thome.
And the Indians get a clean sweep in the outfield. The 95 team gets a clean sweep in the outfield.
Kenny Lofton was so much fun to watch.
Albert Bell was
Albert Bell was
52 and 50. He was crushing home runs. He was doing the muscle thing when they questioned him playing with the.
And see, that's my favorite Indian story of all time is the Jason Grimsley bat story.
That caper?
Oh boy, the current Tribe, and there's still that happened in the playoffs. So let's give the current Tribe another month here and see what happens. But that story is so great. I tell that story every chance I get.
They were a lot of fun. Man, he was so much fun in right field. He had a gun back then. I think he led the league in assists in 95.
Did he?
I think so.
Wow. Dude, he won.
He was young guys were texting.
Ramirez was pulled into a car wash. Or no, told like the clubhouse guy to take his car into the car wash. And there's money in the glove compartment to pay for the car wash. When we pulled in the car wash and pulled open the glove compartment, there was like $20,000 in cash.
Pat, it wasn't that. There was a lot of cash. There were hundreds of thousands of dollars in uncashed paychecks from the team. You just hadn't gone to cash.
That's even
I'm just saying, again, not from a production standpoint, like I don't think you can claim that this team is better than 95. 95 was like fucking world beers. 94, everyone's creaming their pants with the Cubs this year and how good they are. Dude, we were 144 when the fucking season ended, right? Wasn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
95, right?
Yep, that's right.
144. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, the team was
crazy. So like you can't compare on a production basis. I'm talking about a fun, likable basis. I think they're in the same league because likable.
When Albert Bell beamed
the Kipnis can compare it by Baerga.
That was 93.
What was that?
No? What's that?
Versteeg was asking about when Bell beamed that guy in the stands with the ball, but I think that was 93.
Yeah, it was Joey Bell era.
Right after he changed from Joey to Albert.
Yeah, he had to, because he had to.
This guy was heckling him by calling him Joey. In some way, Pat, I only say it because I think that 95 team is the best, most fun team that I've ever rooted for in my life.
Yeah,
Ever root for. But that doesn't take away that this team is a lot of fun. Your overall point still holds, and it's a shame that people haven't paid, including us, Patrick. We are not immune from this criticism.
Yes.
Haven't paid attention to the team. Now, part of me thinks it's just because the team has been, after that, the late 90s high, has been fairly snake bit in all reality. Some of that is we stopped spending money. I don't particularly feel like getting into that conversation right now, but suffice it to say, we're not spending money. We watched all the guys from the great 90s team leave for greener money-wise pastures. And then the next round of guys that came in, that also very fun 07 team with Sizemore and V-Mart and Hafner. The Sizemore injury was devastating. Hafner fell off a ledge, sort of predictably for somebody with his profile, but still that hurt. And then the Sabathia, Cliff Lee, and V-Mart trades that felt like they didn't really bring anything back, even though Cookie and Brantley were what we got back from those trades. That really took a lot of the air out of the team, I think, and had these years where we'd come close and then screw it up and got the 1-game playoff and then came back and didn't make the playoffs the next year.
It seemed like we didn't have the same touch with the veterans either. Part of those 95 teams were guys like Martinez, Hershiser. We were always like Eddie Murray. We were always getting 1 or 2 more great years out of these vets who other people have thrown on the scrap heap. But then you've got signings like more recently like Swisher and Bourne that just didn't work out at all. So this year we've found that touch again where we're taking
we got 2 out of
Rajai Davis.
2 out of 3, I think, right? Davis, Napoli, and Uribe were the big 3.
Yep.
And Bird. Yep. And Bird didn't work out because of the drugs, but I don't think that was a bad idea. Was right.
Right.
No. All right, we've exhausted this, Patty. Let's keep going.
To put a cap on it, though.
No, I think my word should be the last word.
No. Clearly I had last word.
Wrong.
Through pure stamina, I'm willing to. But no, going back to again, I was mostly trying to make the argument for this, but the point to me is, but by making a comparison between 95 and 2016, I think it makes clear that between 95 and 2016, Matty, can you name a single team? Just 2007 outshine 2016?
2007 has it pretty decent. That team was a lot of fun, man.
Totally, but think seriously for 2016, how fun this fucking team is. I love the 2017. They were easily my favorite team since '97.
Fucking Ryan Garco was on that team, man.
Garco.
Underdog.
That does it right there for me.
Top there.
The bug game was so great.
Yeah, now part of it, I will say a big part of why, even though it ended somewhat tragically, very Cleveland-esque fashion for us, old Cleveland, the playoffs really made that team, right? Like that Yankees series.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And the first 4 games of the Red Sox series really cemented them. So this team could do that with a nice run here.
Yeah.
Victor Martinez. I think it undercredits a little bit how fun that Sizemore, Hafner, V-Mart. That team was fun.
Victor Martinez
and Fausto that year were good.
Yeah, Fausto.
Fausto looked like he's going to be a world beater.
He did, man. That was sad. He was so young that year. He was never as good.
Yeah, that was it.
Victor was one of my favorite Indians, which was fun when Steve and I were watching that game against the Tigers, which, by the way, was Arthur's first Indians game in person.
Yeah.
He got to witness.
Baseball's tough for little kids.
Yeah, he basically watched a movie the whole game.
Except for that part where you almost killed him trying to get a foul ball.
Yeah. My first foul ball all the time I caught at this game. Ball came right at me, right where Stiggy was sitting when he got up to go get food. so he wasn't there for it. Something I knocked down before I could reach it. Ball hit the ground, rolled underneath the seat, and because I was holding Arthur when I reached up to grab the ball, I kind of like accidentally squished him against one of the armrests, and so he started crying. The ball. So somebody else got the ball, heard my son crying, and was like, "Oh, I feel bad out here." He's sad about he didn't get the ball and handed the ball back to Arthur. So,
little did that dummy know, he was just sad because his dad had physically abused him.
Exactly. Just like we practiced it, Arthur. Just like we practiced it. But no, that game, like, it was his first game, and it was the Carrasco injury, but also the record-setting 9-pitcher shutout game. Matty, Sticky, do you remember who hit the game-winning single in that game?
I believe that was Jose Ramirez, Patty.
Jose Ramirez, that's right. So anyway, but I brought that up because we were playing the Tigers, and there was one Tigers fan in the crowd, right, who just kept like constantly shouting encouragement to her team like an awful person. But she kept saying like, you got him, Victor, like, Victor Martinez. And I think at one point I heckled her saying, "Hey, he was ours before he was yours. He thinks about us when he goes home with you." Will always be his first team. Will always be his real team. Like, I still love Victor Martinez. It's one of those things where I hope he does a Jim Thome thing and comes back for a little bit before he retires.
The Coco Crisp thing?
Coco Crisp thing, which is fantastic. Another huge thing about this team. Crisp is back.
Yeah, that does help.
Come on. I'm telling you. I think 2016 is easily the most fun team since 95. 95. I mean, 97 is tough. 97 is pretty fucking awesome, too. It's hard to say. But, like, I think since 97, without a doubt, the most fun team this city's had. Look, if they bomb out in this first series against the Red Sox, it'll probably hurt them. But this has been a super fun team, and so you guys just got to get into this playoffs, man. It's exciting.
I agree. Is Grant going? Do you know if he's going?
Probably.
We should hope so. He splits those tickets, though, right?
Yeah, so I don't.
So it's a fight.
His brother will get some of them.
I will say, Arthur's furious that we're not going to games. I had to explain to him the time and distance to Cleveland for this, but and I reminded him that he watched Spider-Man 3 during the entire fucking game. So I spent that kind of money on him.
Shame on him.
He just sent him to stay with Uncle Granty for the week.
Uncle Granty, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Go wrong. Gonna learn some new words. I'll tell you that right
now. Matty, so as I've demonstrated throughout this podcast and in life in general, I am ignorant about baseball in general, aside from the Indians. Can you give us a little scouting report of the Red Sox? Like, what can we expect? All I know about them is that they have a bunch of annoying hitters. They're a bunch of fucking ass-faced Boston accents, and they dance, and and people want to like them because they're Boston. And just go fuck them in the face. That's all I know about them. And there's also a PED.
That's what you to know, actually, Matt. That was really good.
Did I nail it?
So they,
I left out the part that they're saying goodbye to an aging, should-be disgraced PED star that somehow has not been aligned with it, even though he's clearly a product of the same era. Even though you and I have different opinions about that anyways.
So I think the most telling thing about them is you know what run differential is, Patty, right?
I'm familiar with the concept. Yes, thank you.
Yes. So the Red Sox had the best run differential in the American League. The Indians were second. That difference between them was, I'm not going to get it exactly right, but 90 to 100 runs, which is a lot. The Indians scored the second most runs in the league, amazingly, which is not what they were forecast to do at the beginning of the year. The offense way outproduced what we thought, and the starting pitching was nowhere near as dominant as we thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And the Indians' pitching and defense, their run prevention was much better than the Red Sox. And the Red Sox still had a 100-plus run differential, about better than us. Their offense is just unbelievably good. Yeah. Unbelievably good. That's the thing to know about them. Their starting pitching has moments. David Price is good. He wasn't the best pitcher in the league, and Kluber is better than him on a consistent basis, but can deliver. The rest of their guys are fine. Rick Porcello, most notably, won 20 games this year and was pretty decent throughout the year.
For those two, they don't have a good.
Yeah,
first
Buchholz
starter.
is not really what he
Rick
wants.
Porcello wasn't Rick Porcello garbage last year and every year
Yes,
before?
he was very bad.
Blah. What the fuck
He was
happened?
terrible last year, and this is how it's one of the fun things about baseball. Patty, it changes just that quick. Their starting pitching is not what should scare you. What should scare you is their lineup, which is filthy, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Really top to bottom. Killer bees in the outfield and at shortstop, all very good. Mookie Betts is a legit MVP candidate out in right field. Jackie Bradley Jr., who always had an amazing glove and people just thought he wouldn't hit. I think he had 26 home runs this year. They called up this kid, Benintendi, who's in left field for them right now, who looks like a masher. Xander Bogaerts is not quite in Lindor's class, but is right there. The Correa, Bogaerts, Lindor class of shortstops in the American League is the callback to A-Rod, Jeter, and Garcia-Parra from the mid-'90s. But he's excellent. Pedroia sort of looked like he might be done or on his way to done last year and had an enormous bounce-back season. Hanley Ramirez, again, off the scrap heap and looking like he was done, moved to first base and had a good year. And then frickin' Ortiz, man, who I don't know.
How old is he now?
What is he, 37?
That's what I was going to say, 37.
Who looked like he was done 8 years ago. People were starting to talk about that might be it for him. An amazing year. So their lineup is filthy, and one of those that is like the Tribe 95 lineup, and another one. Like some of the Yankee lineups in the even in the early 2000s when they really loaded up on superstars and were just tough outs everywhere. That's what it's like. So it'll be their bullpen is good but not great. So there's runs to be scored. I think it's going to be all about keeping them off the bases. And that ain't going to be easy. It is a super big deal that we got home field advantage.
Yes.
That is an enormous deal.
Both teams are really good at home, right?
Both teams are good at home. We're especially blah on the road. So that was huge for us. But it is the Red Sox are favored and should be. If we had our full complement of pitchers and Carrasco and Salazar were available, I honestly may be a whole different story. That would reflect in how the regular season stats played out, certainly, which would inform how we're thinking about it. But that's just a whole different thing. Like, how confident are you in Bauer? I'm not super confident, right? Like, he's the guy who we score 2 runs, and I'm like, he's going to give up those 2 runs immediately the next inning. I know it.
When he's on, though, I mean, he's really good.
He can be incredible.
Exactly.
Right. And again, that's part of the crapshoot of the playoffs is he shows up and has one good game. He's my hero all of a sudden. And I remember that, right? So I think Pat's favorite writer, Terry Pluto, made this point in a column over the weekend talking about the 97 team. This was a really good point, though, which was if we had won that World Series as we should have, Chad OJ would have been the MVP.
That's right.
Chad OJ, it was sort of an afterthought all season long in the rotation and never was really anything afterwards, was amazing in that playoffs.
And he hit a double.
And he hit a
double in the World Series.
Yeah. Hershiser sort of shit the bed a little bit in that series in the postseason. Nagy was terrible in the postseason. And it was Jarrett Wright and Chad OJ who had a couple good weeks, right? Like a couple good weeks over the course of a season is a blip that you don't even think about.
Right.
It's he had 2 good starts and then he turned into a pumpkin again.
Right.
Those 2 good starts are all you need in a situation like this. So it's certainly possible. And that is one of the things that is both the most fun and most infuriating about the baseball postseason, right? Anything can happen. Any team can win. The Cubs and the Red Sox are the favorites, but they're favorites at like what? The Cubs have a 30% chance to win it. Maybe that might be high, 25% chance. The Red Sox are slightly below them. anything's possible, and the Tribe is certainly capable of winning this series. I think if the Red Sox are favored, they're favored in like a 54-46 sort of way.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it because I mean, one of the reasons I going into the season, if you recall our Indian season preview that I think we did. We did one, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We did. I talked glowingly about this team and how fun they were going to be, actually.
Yeah. My whole attitude about what I love about Tito Francona's Indians is that they stay in it throughout most of the year. And the whole point is you just got to stay close and get hot all the time. Because it doesn't matter if you're the best team in baseball. What matters is you get fucking hot for a goddamn month and ride that. Like, that's what the Royals fucking did, right?
Yeah.
They were the best team in baseball.
Points of the book Moneyball. Just get into the playoffs, and then it's really a crapshoot.
So, like, but on top of that, that's one thing that I think about, and that was what I was taking going into the season. That was before I became a champion, Matty. And the perspective
that makes all the difference in the world.
There's a perspective that comes to being a champion, where you and I talked about this when, like, for Salazar was going down, and then Gomes went down with like 2 fucking crazy freak injuries and ridiculous bad luck, and then like Carrasco, for fuck's sake, went down. Normally this would drive a Cleveland fan to
the drink.
Yes. Well, we don't need any help with that, but yes, it would just despair. Our despair, the arguments you and I had, the deep, dark, bitter feud we had in the middle of the season last year with the Cavs.
Yeah. It's gone.
Dark times, but like we were just like, you know what? We're probably gonna make the playoffs. We make the playoffs. Bauer might get hot. Who knows if Clevenger is gonna find himself like Jarrett Wright found himself out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's nothing special necessarily going into the playoffs. We could just get hot and win it all. That can happen. If we don't, we still won the greatest championship in the history of the NBA.
No, you're absolutely right. It took an enormous amount of the pressure. I've said this to you before, Petty, and I said it to Jeff when we were having dinner earlier. This would have made me so mad. That Carrasco injury, I would have been just like, this is it. This is the gods laughing at us again. This is what we get. Shame on us for believing. I don't have any of that right now. Like, everything is found money to me now.
But now it's all found money because it's like, hey, if we lose, we don't have to feel bad about this shit. We lost 2 of our top 3 fucking starters.
Yeah.
Like, the Red Sox would have been fucking toast if they faced our full squad like we're facing theirs. And we had our 2 starters. Right? They lost their 2 top 2 starters or whatever. 2 of the top 3. You're fucking toast.
Yeah. You tell them.
I'll say this, Patty. I still have some of my old cynicism, though. I went to buy my dad a birthday gift a few weeks ago, and I got him that coloring book, Why Is Daddy Sad on Sundays? Apparently, since we won the title, the same guy has come out with a new book, and it's the same cover. It's the guy in the Bernie jersey on the couch, but he has his fists raised up in the air, and the title is Why Is Daddy Happy on Sundays? And it's the 25 greatest moments in Cleveland sports history. So I'm there in the store. I'm looking at both of these books side by side, and I'm like, why would I want the happy one? Fuck that. I bought him the sad one. He really
wrong, right?
I mean, my dad's suffered a lot longer than I have, so it was definitely the right gift for him.
Well, I feel like the coloring book would just be entirely moments from Game 7, Game 6, and Game 5.
I didn't even open it, but yeah, there had to be at least 3, right? The shot, the block, and the stop, as LeBron called it.
Yeah,
I think Draymond's ball shot on LeBron would have to be in it. Steph Curry throwing his mouthpiece into the stands would have to be in it. A couple of LeBron's packs of Steph and shit.
Yeah, the one where he looked over his shoulder,
back over his shoulder, shit talking him.
Yeah.
Has to be a
couple of moments of Kyrie nodding, not just Steph's eye, but Klay Thompson's eye. Like, Klay Thompson's like trying, is just hustling his ass off, playing perfect defense, and Kyrie just calmly sends it every single time. It's so demoralizing because he played perfect defense on all those plays, and Kyrie was just like, "Fucking fool, man! I don't beat you." So yes, this is the perspective that being a champion brings. One thing I wanted to run past, both you guys. I was reading this crazy article. It was born out of the bullpen game concept. And might be exploit this. It wasn't a serious article like they aren't going to do this, but like, why don't they do this? And let's talk about it.
I think they really might do it.
I'm curious. This would be amazing if they did. It'd be the first, right? The idea is the Indians basically have two closers, right? We got Andrew Miller and we got Cody Allen. These two guys are like among the best relievers in baseball. Why wouldn't you, on days where you don't have a really great starter, whether it's Clevenger or Tomlin, why wouldn't you open the game, have an opening starter, an opening pitcher, not a starting pitcher, an opening pitcher, open the game with Andrew Miller. That's the one time you're guaranteed to face the top three hitters in the fucking lineup, right? Start the game with Andrew Miller. Then you bring in the innings eater, right? Tomlin or Clevenger. Then you get to your bullpen, and then you close the game with your closer. So the idea is that you open and close the game with two of your best pitchers just for those innings.
Right, you're going to get 3 innings out of them there, and then you just have to cover 6 in the middle.
Yep.
I don't think they'll do. And I don't have a powerful argument for not starting with Miller there, other than it feels icky. But this is the same logic that kept Buck Showalter from deploying the best reliever in baseball last night. In a game, he lost the game by 1. It was by 3, but whatever. And in extra innings, and never used his best pitcher, which you never want to
ever do.
But I think a version of that is what we will see, right? Like Tomlin, I presumably is going to start game 3. He will be on an incredibly short hook. As soon as somebody gets on base, they're going to have somebody in the bullpen warming. Literally, as soon as somebody gets on base, I think they'll have somebody in the bullpen warming and ready to go. And who that somebody that comes in is will be dependent on what happens.
Right.
So if we're getting roughed up and there's all of a sudden the bases are loaded and there's nobody out and it's the second inning, I think you could see Andrew Miller come in and pitch right then. It'd be like, the game cannot get away from us.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point, I think I read the same article, Pat. The whole point is to use Miller when the game is on the line, when it's close, right? And when their best hitters are up there. So if you save him for the end of the game might not be close, and then you sort of waste him. Whereas if you put him in early, he's going to be pitching important innings that matter in the eventual outcome of the game. I'm all for it. And why not? I mean, you're down 2 all-star caliber starters. This is the perfect time to get creative and test it out. And if it doesn't work, you can be like, hey, we're down 2 starters anyway. We had to do something different.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I bet they do not go that far to start him, but I think I think Tito has no fear of using him in the second inning if he needs to, pitching him innings 2 and 3, pitching him in the first inning if things go super sideways, and using him for more than 1 inning. That's something. A lot's been written about this. Is not an original thought by me, but he deploys Miller in really interesting ways that is a big advantage for the Indians, rather than locking him into a 9th inning with a lead of 3 runs or less.
Right, and it's been successful. I mean, I forget what the advanced stat is, but it shows how much you contribute to wins.
A win probability added, WPA probably.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That's it. His is very high since he joined the Indians, because he's always pitching in a situation where he affects the outcome of the game instead of coming in with a 3-run lead in the 9th. It's not really helpful.
It's funny when Miller came in the game that you and I were watching. We were kind of confused. He wasn't doing the lefty-lefty matchup. He was just. We kind of belatedly realized, he just brought him in to face their best fucking hitters. That's what it did. Like, and that's what's right. I love about Tito Francona. It's not so much about like this is a tight spot. It's like, tight spot. These are the best hitters. I'm bringing my best reliever up now. And Tito deserves a lot of credit for that. He gets a lot of fucking flack for being a dummy manager, a guy who just lets players play and isn't actually that smart, isn't that good of a manager.
Does he?
Oh yeah. Some of the baseball guys I do talk to here in New York, I guess the Yankees guys, so they're all like anti-Tito, but like, he has a reputation. I think it's helped by the fact that he's over reliant on the bunting strategy, which old school.
Yeah, the bunting stuff's the stupidest thing he does. I think the player stuff is from the chicken and beer teams at the end of his Red Sox tenure.
Exactly. He's a player's guy and all that shit like that. So, but the point is, like, he's clearly like the way he uses Miller is very unorthodox and very fucking smart. There's a ton of.
To use his entire lineup like that, interest. Now, the thing, this is a little bit later, but I want to bring it up now, Patty, because it's a thing I'm not wild about, which is that they're carrying 3 catchers.
Yes. Well, we're getting towards the end of our India stuff, but yeah. That,
and he's got to say in that. That's not just Francona's call, right? That's an organizational call, but I am less than enthused about that. Now, I guess it means they're dropping a pitcher, right?
Who are they dropping?
I don't know, one of their shitty relievers.
Yeah, it's
not one. They're only bringing in 4 starting pitchers, right?
Yeah.
So normally you have 5 starting pitchers. One of your starting pitchers would go to the bullpen, and you drop out one of your crappy middle relievers. But in their case, I think they're just bringing Kluber, Bauer, Tomlin, and Clevenger, if I can call Clevenger.
Not on the roster. Carrasco's not on the roster.
Right.
So
I think it's those 4, and then Allen, Miller, Shaw, Manship, Otero, and there's one. Oh, and McAllister.
Is Merritt on there? And who's the lefty? No?
I don't know. I don't think Merritt's on it. I think it's those. This is boring for people to listen to, so let me do some thinking in the background while I figure out who the rest of the roster is.
Yeah, there's Merritt who
I think they're carrying 11 pitchers, which is less than Tito likes to do normally. But honestly, you can get away with that in the playoffs, right? There's off days.
Totally.
You just don't need that much. I still like I don't know. And I guess part of this is that Almonte's suspended too, right? Because that catcher could conceivably be taking a spot that would be an outfielder or somebody else useful for us. But
none of these catchers are good hitters. I mean, they're not going to use them as pinch hitters.
That was my
right.
But guys, that was my.
If Gomes was good, would be the only one that you would consider like that. But apparently, they're not even going to start. They're talking about using him in we need a defensive replacement in the 7th inning. It's not entirely clear to me how much Gomes has in the tank.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. This is right. Paul Hoyne's article was predicated on the idea that, look, what Tito Francona did to win that game when Carrasco went out is not what they can do in the playoffs. They don't carry many relievers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, use fucking math, man. All the pitchers that we used in the game, every single player we used in that game, and then some, that can fit on a fucking 25-man roster. Everyone that was in that game we saw, except for Aben Almonte, Stiggy, we're going to be able to see the playoffs in any given game. They can do that. So I sort of get why. I mean, I don't want to pile on Paul Hoynes, but that was what was so bad about that article. Is that I get it. That's fucking horrible to lose your top, 2 of your top 3 starting pitchers, plus the catcher. But we keep doing what we've been doing, and that it's not fucking done. This team has a shot.
No, that's definitely true. They're behind the 8 ball, but they have, they can win.
It's a 5-game series. It's
Exactly.
We get a good start out of Bauer. Can we talk about Bauer being the game 1 starter?
That's crazy. I know.
It's only because Kluber got hurt.
Okay. So they're giving us a little extra rest. That's the idea?
That's correct.
All right. Yeah. But we get a great start out of Bauer. That's really the key start in the whole series, Bauer in game 1. If he gave us 8 innings, 2 runs, that'd be incredible. And then we get a good start out of Kluber. You're up 2-0 there, potentially. That's in the 5-game series. That's it.
I think we're going to need to see the offense come alive to win it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to have a couple 6-run games.
Yeah. This offense can do it.
Yeah, they're streaky like that. They're also, they're streaky the other way too, right? Yeah. Like those terrible stretches where they're playing the Twins and not scoring any runs at all. They're definitely capable of that. They got plenty of strikeout guys on the team. which can go bad for you in the playoffs. That was sort of like the Royals theory, right?
Yeah.
Put the ball in play.
These guys should be loose. They got nothing to lose.
No, and it feels like, and I trust Tito to have the team
Yeah.
feeling like that, right?
No one's better at that. No one's a better clubhouse manager than Tito in terms of getting guys mentally ready.
I think that's right. Patty, late breaking news. None of this matters because it's an even numbered year, and the Giants won 3-0 tonight over the Mets, so it's all theirs anyway. We can all give up and go.
But Matty, that means we've kept hope alive.
To punch them in the stomach twice?
Yes, well, the same fucking year, those motherfuckers.
Oh, I might get murdered out here if that happens.
Those poor blue-collar schmoes in Silicon Valley.
Right.
No, and that would be the ideal scenario. Only because, in particular, I want to say, so my father-in-law is a huge Cubs fan, and I've had lots of conversations with him over the years where he says, "Oh, Pat, you don't really know sports suffering. I have the Cubs number one since I away." And I'm like, "You motherfucker! You told me that the Bulls play basketball the way it was meant to be played when I asked for your daughter's hand in marriage. You've had 6 fucking NBA titles to cry into when the Cubs don't win. Don't you fucking talk to me about sports suffering." However,
not
what's that?
And the '85 Bears not so long ago.
That's true. That's true. Also that. However, he's fully grokked the sports suffering I've gone through to the point where I brought back the San Francisco Chronicle newspaper, Matty, that Mimi got for us both the day after the Cavs won the title. Kept that, gave it to Brad. Brad does love traveling in China, my father-in-law, and gets nice good deals on framing. So I just got this framed, the front page of the San Francisco Chronicle. The headline is "Dethroned by the King," along with a copy of our ticket. Got that framed in wine and gold. So Brad's kind of made up for that, and I'm appreciative of that. So I really don't want to see an Indians Cubs World Series. What I'm trying to say.
No.
I don't really want to be in that position of that.
Of rooting against your father-in-law?
Yeah, I mean, look, I have no problem wishing the worst from the Cubs if we face them in the World Series. They can go to fucking hell. But well, no, if it came to that, look, like, if the Indians fall, of course I'm pulling for the Cubs. I am. I'll say it. Pulling for the Cubs. But if
lose your train of thought there, buddy?
Is Tribe versus the Giants.
That would be incredible.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would up the stakes considerably for me. Considerably.
Right. So let's go to the home stretch.
Nationals or something?
Nobody wants to see the Nationals.
Let's get to the home stretch. Unless you have anything else to add on the Indians, I wanted to quickly go through, in case you guys do like to follow Tribe or sports on Twitter, and you haven't had a really robust Indians Twitter list. I have some good follows that I've developed over the past season. I want to share.
Give them. Yours are better than mine, Patty. I follow a lot of general baseball writers, but I don't have good Tribe specific. So yours are.
No, these guys are great, total Tribe partisans. My first two are girls. Excellent. Very good. Sports Yelling is one of my favorite follows.
You mean they're men pretending to be women so they get more attention, correct?
No, definitely women. I can.
Catfish. I'm sorry, I can tell you.
Can't fake it. Sports Yelling is one of the best. She only tweets in all caps, and it's a great premise, and it gets better from there. Brutal Stephanie is somebody that she knows, also very good. Kevin Dean is an Indians fan, but also very analytics focused. Cole Lopez and Hipster Tito, also very good, mistaken for each other. Hipster Tito is the guy that coined Party Annapolis and started.
Oh, so he's got cred.
What's that?
He's got credibility.
Oh yeah, he's got very much big cred. Cole Lopez also very fun. Monty the Color Man great Twitter handle because it is Monty the Color Man from Major League movies, and also just generally very good. Then if you're going to follow any of the Indians players, it's got to be Jose Ramirez, Trevor Bauer, and Jason Kipnis.
Yeah, that I agree. I do follow those guys. I agree with all three of those.
Entertaining. Jose Ramirez taking a picture of himself wearing a LeBron jersey, saying, "LeBron, when we win the title, when we win the World Series, I expect you to buy my jersey and wear it like I'm wearing it." That's what Jose Ramirez tweeted. Trevor Bauer we've covered, Jason Kipnis we've covered, but yeah, Jose Ramirez.
Patty, something I forgot that you'll appreciate is that Jose Ramirez and Napoli are like best buddies on the team.
Oh, I love that so much.
And Jose Ramirez's English is not great, and Mike Napoli speaks, I think, 0 Spanish.
That means they get really drunk all the time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a funny mismatch pair, though.
We can talk about Juan Uribe being like Jose Ramirez's I don't know, spirit dad on the team.
Yeah.
That was a great fun subplot in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
So that's it. You should also follow the Cleveland Indians Twitter.
Yeah, their Twitter is excellent.
It's fantastic. The best by far of any Cleveland team Twitter. They come correct. It's great. One of my favorite recent tweets was they tweeted like a bunch of photos from the Tribe celebration of winning of clinching the Central Division. It followed up with maybe 10 minutes later with but seriously guys, be real quiet tomorrow. Like keep your voices down. There's tons of pictures of guys drinking, just drinking heavily, and the whole joke being that none of the major stars are going to be playing the next day, right? And it was it's always kind of fun side point of the ridiculous lineups that teams put out the day after clinching a title, clinching a division title, right?
That was a lot of fun.
They do a good job. Lastly, a kind of more straight man guy, but Jordan Bastian is the MLB beat reporter for the Indians. It's not so much fun as much as he does give a little bit extra oomph to his post. He finds little quotes and things and nuggets and puts them out there on Twitter. He's a good follow. So that's my Patty's must follow list on Twitter for the Tribe playoffs.
Nice, Patty. I like it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, world. So, gentlemen, we're over time, shockingly, with Pat and Versteeg in the same podcast together.
Versteeg hasn't even really said anything yet.
We still got 2 hours to go, Pat. We got to do an hour on the Cavs and an hour on the Browns.
All I can say, Matty, is that Versteeg has said far too much.
Pat, if it's past your bedtime out there on the East Coast, you can just go to sleep and just leave the hangout going, and Matt and I will just wrap up the last 2 hours here.
Oh, don't challenge me, my friend. I can go on.
I did just challenge you. I did.
In the interest of
for my fantasy football loss to your crummy team.
What? Your 3-game losing streak to my fantasy football team?
Oh boy. Well, they'll see you in the playoffs, buddy.
Oh, you wish. You're
going to choke against my team instead of
I don't think I'm
Scott.
going to see either of you guys in the playoffs.
You don't think you're going to see me, Matty? You and your championship running back core. Jesus Christ. All right. Here's to keep it palatable for listeners beyond our friends, or 15 friends. I do want to keep this relatively concise. It's too late for that.
No, stop pretending.
Let's just start and we'll see what happens, Patty.
Let's talk about
Let's get a little preview of the Cavs thing. One thing I want to mention, I'm going to go into much more detail in the Cavs preview. The Cavs offense has been fantastic, obviously. I love ripping on the Warriors. For example, I have a lot of Warriors fans in my office, and I made sure when I ripped open the framed portrait of the San Francisco Chronicle headline, I made sure that I opened with great fanfare in the middle of the newsroom, so that all the Warriors fans could see and be annoyed by it.
Who are these Warriors fans?
Yeah.
It's not people from out here. They're just bandwagon.
Yeah, mostly bandwagon jumpers. There's one who actually is from the Bay Area and is, you know, not a super fan, but clearly like had cheered for the Warriors when they were not good. But, you know, the rest are total front runners, have no real strong connection to Golden State, to the Bay Area. But they you know, claim that bullshit. Anyway, I can appreciate as much as the next guy how much fun it is to remind people, to make sure people don't forget that the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. However, the joy in doing that, I think, is a disservice. We are doing a service by reminding the world constantly that the Golden State blew that 3-1 lead. We should be reminding the fucking world, starting right goddamn now. We all have to remind the fucking world the Cavaliers, the Cleveland fucking Cavaliers, came back from a 3-1 deficit with the greatest fucking comeback in NBA history.
Yes. Won the greatest series in NBA history.
Yes.
Won it.
That is what we need to
Fair and square.
With the greatest performance ever by an individual in NBA history.
People are forgetting it. They're just talking about how Golden State choked, and now they're gonna forget it when, like, you know, they have Kevin Durant, so no big deal anymore. No, fucking it's a huge deal. Yeah, they choked. They didn't choke so much as we fucking took it. They did not choke. It wasn't choking that blocked that fucking shot.
Somebody's got to stick their hand down your throat for you to choke.
Right.
We choked them out.
It wasn't choking that knocked that fucking three-pointer in Steph's eye. It may have been choking a little bit, but fucking Kevin Love locked down the two-time MVP. You know, both teams were tired and missing shots. The Cavaliers fucking won that. And I get really mad when certain, national media guys discount that as just like an amazing thing, but was not like a dominant, wonderful, great.
I feel disrespected, Patty. I don't know about you.
Disrespected. It's bullshit.
I'm personally
the greatest champions in the history of the NBA ever. Period. Understood.
Yeah.
Doesn't get nearly that talk.
You know, adding another huge choker to that team is not going to make them any more clutch.
No.
Who's going to take the last shot this season? It's going to be in Curry's hands. He'll be like, here, you take it, Kevin. And he'll be like, no, I don't want it. I don't want to choke. You take it. Those guys don't have it when the game's on the line. I look forward to watching both of them miss game-winning shots and choke it away again.
There's just so much experience blowing 3-1 leads on that team now.
Did you watch them last night?
I
didn't. My Uber driver told me they were real good.
They look filthy. But
preseason, whatever.
Cavs looked filthy tonight too.
Yeah. Too many egos on that Golden State team. Not enough shots to go around. You're gonna hear about some locker room dissension. Mark my words.
I think so, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they're all singing out of the same playbook right now, or songbook, and acting like that's not gonna be a problem. But I have a feeling you're right.
Definitely will be. Because Durant can just leave after the season too. So if he's not getting his, I mean,
and so can Curry.
Right. So both of them can just be like, hey, if I don't get mine, whatever. I already, Curry's already won a title.
Yeah.
He's
I don't.
He's spoiled. He'll leave.
I think there's a chance that they come out this year like they came out last year, and are just world beat. I don't think that's impossible.
Sure. It's fun winning games in November.
That
doesn't mean shit.
Of the creation of most super teams, like most of them struggle a little bit out the gate, right?
Yeah, I feel like the Celtics were real good right out of the gate, which was a surprise though.
Yeah.
That was the first.
That's true. Although
recent super team.
That also was a pretty unique mix of characters, right? Where Garnett doesn't need the ball at all,
right,
and is an insane person,
right? They all fit perfectly,
right? Like that unit came together in a very unique way.
Guys.
Garnett and Allen were totally willing to subjugate their egos to the whole.
Right.
These guys are saying they can do it. I'm not 100% sure that's true or not. If
someone's got to be the man. When LeBron went to Miami, there was a question: well, who's going to be the man? And Dwayne Wade subjugated his ego and said, all right, LeBron, you're the best player in the game. You're going to be the man. But between Curry and Durant, they're both in their absolute prime.
Yeah, who blinks?
Who's
I think you
Move
guys
that
are
down.
wrong.
I don't think Kevin wants to do it.
I think you're wrong to finger Curry and Durant is the big issue. It's more Draymond and Durant. If you watch
For who's the point forward, you mean, Patty?
yeah, because look, what made Draymond so good and so dangerous and so devastating was when he had the fucking balls in his hand. You know, when he the devastating play of the season was the Draymond Curry pick and roll, right?
Yeah.
And if you watch Draymond in the Olympics, he was fucking useless, awful. Like he's a fucking normal, the average fucking dude, because you know there's so many other guys that need the ball. So that's the one thing I could see being a potential.
Right, so in other words, Patty, all those Draymond Curry pick and rolls are now going to be Durant Curry pick and rolls. Because why wouldn't you run Durant in there if he's a better shooter, driver, and passer? I think than Draymond. I guess passer might be questionable there. But if he's getting those, what role does Draymond play on the offense? Can he suddenly be a Tristan Thompson type that's just crashing boards and setting picks? Or does he feel like he needs something more? I don't know. I mean, Draymond feels like the kind of guy who doesn't give a fuck and just wants to win. I think that's possible with him.
See, I think Draymond retains most of that role. I mean, a big part of the pick and roll is actually setting a good pick. It gets forgotten because it's fundamental and it's boring, but Kevin Durant doesn't set good picks. He's weak. Draymond Green sets great picks. Not only does he set a hard pick, but he gets there quickly. That's such a key. We saw that against the Cavs where they'll set a pick for Dre off the ball, and then he'll run and set his own pick, and his man is behind because his man has been picked on the other wing. He's so good at doing it. He gets there on time. He turns and rolls on time. His footwork is great. The Curry pick and roll, Curry Draymond Green pick and roll is not broke. I don't think they're going to try to fix it. I think Durant.
You're just going to think they're going to slot him into the Harrison Barnes role?
Durant's going to be more of a perimeter guy. Yeah, I mean he's such a good 3-point shooter. I think he's going to be mostly on the wing, and there'll be some Durant Curry pick and roll. But also remember the pick and roll between Curry and Thompson was excellent, and J.R. Smith in particular had a lot of trouble defending that when he was on Thompson, and Thompson go set a pick for Curry. So all that pick and roll action works really well for them. I don't know if you also want to throw Durant in there with that. I think maybe you let him either have the ball in his hands and he gets the pick from Dre and from Thompson. You know, or you just have him on the opposite wing when all that pick and roll is happening for Curry. But
and he's just sniping open threes, and then you let him run the second unit offense, basically.
Yeah, that too. But I don't think the Durant Curry pick and roll is going to be a big thing for them this year.
We'll see. I mean, basically, you're saying they're a Kevin Love, Kevin Durant. They're gonna make him a stretch 3-point shooter, stretch 4 3-point shooter.
Boy, it sounds really terrible when you put it that way. Like they're gonna ostracize him in the locker room too. He's gonna be sort of
passive aggressive and tweet about him.
Right.
I'm with you on that in the sense that he won't set as good picks, but I think that it's gonna fuck him up a little bit. It might be the smartest thing to continue what they're doing and just have him replace Harrison Barnes in the role, but that is just wasting Kevin Durant, isn't it?
Well, there's only one ball. There's only so many shots to go around, and only so many guys can really be involved on an offensive play. Like you need somebody to just spread the floor and keep his man out of the mix, right? And that's the triangle offense. It's like the 3 guys who are in the triangle are doing the business, and the other 2 guys just get the hell out of the way. So not that they're running that, but that was the genius of it, is that you don't have all these other guys clogging the lane and getting in, bringing their defenders over into the play. So I think you're going to have one guy who's the shot creator and the ball handler, and other guys who are complementary players, right? And so Durant and Curry are both creators. So you have
that is a nasty part of doing it that way too. Is it because the problem for them with Barnes is that you could stick a subpar defender on him, right? You can't get away with that with Durant. Because you'll just swing it to Durant, he'll take that man one-on-one off the dribble and go. You have to put one of your premium defenders over on Durant.
Right. So if you only have one stopper out there, like you're the Bulls, you only have one Jimmy Butler. Wherever he is, just pass to the other creator, and then they can't switch, and then that guy creates with whoever's on his side of the floor. It's just like a quarterback reading the defense and deciding, all right, I got
a weak matchup, I got one-on-one coverage on the left. I'm just going left with this pass.
Checker, so you're talking me into that it's going to work, not that it's not going to work.
Well, if it doesn't work, it won't be because there's not a strategic option that could work in an egoless world. It'll be because the egos are too big, and Durant will like standing on the other wing when Jimmy Butler is just taking him out of the game, and Curry's making all the plays and getting the headlines, and he'll be like, you know, I didn't come here to be second fiddle to Lil Steph.
Right.
I'm the fucking man. I think the egos are going to destroy that team.
One could only hope. All right,
Sure
let's
would.
move on, gentlemen. We'll have a fuller cast preview later.
We got to talk about JR, man. We got to talk about this situation for a little bit. So, still not signed. Let's just call it. I want a number and a number of years, and what's the option on the last year of the contract. I just want everybody to make a call. What do you think, Pat? What are we gonna settle at after all this? You know,
I know we want 2 years, 15. I think
15 per.
2 years, 30 million.
Years. I could see 3 years, 14.
With a team option for the third year?
No,
Player option. You could have no option. It could just be
a team option is as good as a 2 year deal. So team option for a third year is basically a 2 year deal. So he wouldn't. They're not fighting over a team option. They're fighting over a player option.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I agree. I think 14 to 15 is probably. I mean,
the reports are he wants 15 a year, and the Cavs are not giving that, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's both dollars per year and the length of the contract. I think both those things are in dispute.
yeah. I think the floor for him is a Flalo's deal. Flalo got what, 2 years, 12 million per.
He'll
So
get more than that.
Sure, absolutely.
Right. I'm saying that's the floor.
Yeah.
And he should get more than that. He's better than a Flalo. Flalo sucked last year. He's not even worth 12 million, not even under the new cap. But yeah, I think somewhere 13 to 14, upper range if we can get it for 2 years, lower range if it's 3. I'm as much as I love JR, I'm a little leery about giving him a big long-term contract. I think as much of a model citizen as he's been the last 2 years, if you give a guy like his last big contract, you know, it's possible that the old JR could come out again. I mean, he's basically been playing on a 1 year deal. Well, he has been on a 1 year deal the last 2 years for not a lot of money. So for the last 2 years, he's been playing for a big contract. Once he gets the big contract, and now that we've already won a title, I'm just a little worried.
I don't know. The JR I saw weeping at the podium feels like a changed man to me.
Well,
He's getting married.
what about the JR who didn't wear a shirt for 3 weeks right after that?
That doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me either.
At
you know?
all.
It bothers me so little that I bought a T-shirt of it.
Yeah, that T-shirt is amazing.
I
Creepy.
don't want to encroach too much on a conversation we're going to have with our friend Skylar for the cast preview, but I will say this just in case this gets resolved before the preview. I'm not going to damn Dan Gilbert being cheap until we actually lose it. I think they're being prudent and holding out to make sure that we get a decent deal, and we're in danger of the repeater tax, which is like really crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna pay it. I mean, at this point, there's no holding out to get a decent deal because there's no other options for the Cavs. They have to re-sign JR.
There's no other options for JR either, by the way. Nobody else is offering him shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the Cavs can't. I mean, he's a LeBron friend. He's a Rich Paul client.
They need each other. This is going to resolve exactly the same way the TT
The Tristan,
thing resolved.
yes.
It might take halfway through training camp in the preseason, but he'll sign a deal. And if I had to bet, it'll be 3 years and $43 to $45 million.
Yeah.
Fully guaranteed.
And what I think is interesting here, I think this is just like last summer with TT. I think this is a power struggle between LeBron and Dan Gilbert, ultimately, which is dumb on Dan Gilbert's part because LeBron's going to win. He's irreplaceable. Right?
How do you feel about?
So just pay the money. When we stretch it out, it only makes Dan Gilbert look worse. Like they offered Tristan 80, he turned it down. We set around all summer, and then he got 82 million. So he gets a little extra money for basically not going to camp and not working out all summer. Great. And then he comes in a little out of shape. And then so now we're doing the same thing with JR. It's going to play
Except
out
he
the
was
same
in
way.
shape. TT was in shape.
Was he?
TT came into he was ready to go right from the get-go.
Yeah,
And JR has supposedly been working too.
Well, I hope JR is working out.
Is this sort of like the power struggle between
Everyone.
Dan Gilbert hosting fundraisers for Trump and like 3 days later LeBron endorsing Hillary?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's
a lot of passive-aggressive shit going on between the two of those guys.
Oh, yeah. You know, those guys, those two are like Shaq and Kobe. I mean, they'll keep it together professionally, but I don't think they're friends. And I think there's a lot of animosity left there.
So you know how LeBron says he wants to own a team?
Yeah.
Do you want that team to be the Cavs?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Why? Because you don't think he's a good executive?
No.
He'll be like a Michael Jordan executive?
I don't want him owning another team. I would be jealous.
Oh. Yeah. Sure. I own the Cavs.
And I mean that as no disrespect to Dan Trump lover Gilbert.
No, I'm as big a fan of Gilbert as an owner as anybody. I take a back seat.
I just don't want LeBron.
I'm going to say in a few weeks about this, but
He spends the money. He doesn't meddle. He seems to hire good people in the front office. That's all you can ask. Those three things.
I won't be able to accept LeBron owning another team. This that's Cleveland. It will feel bad. It will feel bad. Guys, all right. Let's wrap this up with the Browns. Should we? Browns?
Sure.
Yeah.
Browns?
Browns?
Browns? Question mark?
Browns? Question mark? I will launch it off briefly with my quick take, which is that I'm surprisingly happy with them. They're doing exactly what they want them to do. They are having they've had 4 consecutive the first one wasn't very encouraging, but they've had at least 3 encouraging losses. They're racking up the losses, most of them encouraging in terms of the young people that we recently drafted or signed are playing really well and look like real professional football players that can actually like make a difference, right? Plus, we're still losing games, so we're getting into pole position for the number 1 pick in the draft next year. And also, half those guys are injured, like Nassib and Coleman. Like those guys look good before they get hurt, and I'm excited to see them.
Not just them, our starting quarterbacks and Joe Hayden and our Cam Irving and our
starting center last week, who was a rookie, went down. He's going on IR. I
had
no idea.
Last week.
He did. That was the best Browns run blocking I've seen. Since like Kevin Mack.
Crazy.
I mean, Crowell was running through enormous holes. He's the second leading rusher right now.
Yeah.
He had 112 yards on 15 totes. And the announcers were talking about how great Crowell looked. I'm like, Crowell looks the same. The line is amazing. He was running through enormous holes right up the gut, too. It wasn't anything tricky.
Yeah.
It was just guys getting a good push and creating a good seal. And I couldn't even I didn't even know the name of the guys who were doing that blocking. Like those guys look like all pros.
No, I think you have to be super happy with Hugh Jackson as a coach.
Yeah.
Whatever your issues with little strategic things about the not going for it on before the field goal that was missed against Miami or deferring and let's not even worry about that stuff, right? Like the stuff that matters right now is the team prepared and ready to play? Are they playing hard and looking like they're giving you maximum effort? And are you getting the most out of the talent that you have on the field?
Oh, yeah.
I think the answer to all those questions is yes.
Hugh Jackson is making prime rib out of rump roast.
Yeah.
And
it seems like he's heavily.
Hold on. Half
better.
Defense right now. Half our defense is from other teams' practice squads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't great, but like they aren't fucking awful. Like,
yeah.
They're hanging in there.
Now, to rain on the parade a little bit, I think the 4 teams we've played, none of them are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Baltimore, even if they're 3-1 or whatever they are. I don't think that's a good team. The Redskins are not good.
The Redskins have the worst run defense in football.
Yeah. And Miami certainly is not good.
Miami really blows.
And while the Eagles are 3-0 and blew out the Steelers, I don't fundamentally believe that they're a good team.
Either.
I think they're going to end up 5-11 or something, right? So it'll be starting this week. It'll be interesting to see what we do against real competition. See what happens when we go up against the Steelers and the Bengals and whoever else. Although we play a lot of pretty crappy teams this year, to be honest with you.
Why is it that when we have a crappy team, we always have the easy schedule, and then we have a decent team, but the schedule gets really hard?
We need a year where it all comes together. Good team and soft schedule.
I think they're. I feel like they're headed in the right direction for the first time since that 10 and
Butch
6 year.
Davis.
Since the 10, I think the 10 and 6 Romeo year, I felt
then,
pretty good.
Boy, by the end of that year, I didn't feel good at all. I mean, DA. It was funny. I was watching. I had a red zone. I was watching the end of the Carolina game when DA came in after Newton was concussed, and he threw terrible pick to lose the game. I was like, boy, that's a familiar feeling.
Yeah.
I think I texted you about that, Pat.
I do remember that.
So
he was terrible at the end of that year.
How many do we win a game this year?
Yeah, I think we do.
It might be. I think we win a game.
I think we win 2.
I'll take the over there. We win 1.
We're still going to play Buffalo. We're going to play the Ravens again.
Yeah.
We play a Giants team that I don't think is that great.
They should be, but they're not.
Right.
That's a weird team.
Buffalo's the Patriots. I mean, I know without Tom Brady, but still.
Yeah, but still.
The Patriots are going to work.
We'll win 2 games, I think. But I think we're in pole position for the number 1 pick. But Stiggy, you had said, like, why is it when we're stuck we have the really easy schedule and we're seemingly promising we have a tough schedule? Normally, gentlemen, the answer would be, well, because we're Cleveland. The guy hates Cleveland. Now we can, I think, happily say, it's not because we're Cleveland, it's because they're the Browns.
Yeah.
Very important.
That's become a thing now where people are looking down on the Browns and be like, hey, since the Cavs won it, like there's really no excuse for you guys. We're not a cursed sports town.
Get your shit together.
It's just you guys.
Get together.
Worst thing that ever happened for the Browns was the Cavs winning.
Oh, yeah. Like at work where there's a few people that have been slacking off and then one of them gets really good and you're like, well, you blew my cover.
Jig us up.
All right, gentlemen. I think we wrap it up there. Let's nip this in the bud.
I don't have more to say actually. You know, it's only like 9:40 out here on the West Coast. We'll be up for another few hours.
That's great.
You want to just leave the run and Matt and I have some more things to discuss.
You can whisper sweet nothings into Matt's ear all night long. Matt, I wish you joy of it. But for our listeners, our poor listeners, I'm gonna call the fight and wrap it here.
You can listen to this at work.